Let's listen to some tunes. Code error. Even when the stereo was working in this, when we first got the car, it was garbage. You're better off just duct taping a Bluetooth speaker to the dashboard and listening to that. It was that bad. For Christmas, the boy got an upgrade. And today, we're gonna do that upgrade. This was less than $100. It was a Christmas gift from his grandparents in Tennessee. Why is it always whenever somebody gets something for Christmas, I have to do the labor? So what we got to do is we got to rip all this out. I believe it's going to be like this whole piece is what it is. And there's actually a screen that's going to be sitting right there. It'll look like a factory piece. It'll look built in, and it won't be something that somebody can just take off the dashboard and walk away with. Like those ones that look like a little tiny big screen TV with the little feet on it. Those look cool, but you know, it's not secure. And I'm sure most of you remember back in the day when they would knock out your window to steal your stereo. They've gotten away from that because the stereos, well, like this one. If you disconnect the power, it goes into lockdown mode. All right, so now that we got the car back from the body shop, we can do the stereo upgrade. And, oh yeah, we got a steering wheel cover too. I forgot about that. That thing's nasty. What else does it come with? Hey! Another man's instructions. This is probably in some of the language. Cool. I'm sure I'll need that. I'm always saying that the instructions are nothing but another man's opinion, right? This man's opinion doesn't even tell me how to get any of this off. Just start pulling on stuff. That almost always works. Great. I just might have to search YouTube for this. Holy hell, that was not fun. So, in order to get the stereo out, you have to first remove this panel right here. You just grab it and pull. Then there's a screw that goes up in here somewhere. Once you get that screw, you take this panel and just pull it and rip it off. Then you got to come over here and up inside this little cubby hole right here. Up there is another panel you got to pop off. And then there's two 8mm screws right over here and over here. Right over here and over here. Those were a total pain. I'm not putting them back in because they're that stupid. So once you get those two stupid screws out, then you just grab this entire piece and pull. Don't rip, just pull. But that's not it. Then you've got to start disconnecting harnesses. Because you'd only get it to here. So you've got to disconnect these two, and then this one, and then these three. Then you can pull that piece of garbage out. Don't throw it yet. You can't throw it yet. Before you can take it and throw this thing out the window, out in the driveway or whatever, you've got to take off the heater controls and the four-way flashers. And I'm not sure what's up with this. I think this is just a light. It's for the airbags, passenger side airbag, and it just lights up when this one's turned off. This doesn't have provisions for it. I'm just gonna plug that in and just let it dangle behind the dash. That way the computer says it's plugged in and I don't need to see it. To get all this stuff off, Phillips head screws. And then it looks like this needs to come off. That's your vents. So you got screws. Then you can throw it away. You want to make this as easy as possible, right? Of course you do. So I've got my screwdriver. You don't need to use that. You can use a manual one. But here, look at this. I've got them laying basically in the same general direction. This one lays flat, but it's still, this is the top and that's the bottom. And you can see here's all those controls that go right here. And then this will be the top of the dash. Vent hole. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. So you don't need to watch me do this. I'm just unscrewing and then screwing. Dismount, remount. And I mean, really, that's that easy at this point. All right, so now it's time to reassemble. I already got everything changed over. Heater controls 4 ways. The vent, all the little clips and doodad that did not come on this. And it's ready to install. This little doodad antenna deal, I'm not sure what it is. There's already something hooking up to the antenna to the car, but it came with this. It's got the double-sided sticky tape, and it ties into the back of the radio. That plugs into the back of it. Looks like an antenna to me. Probably sending all your information straight to China, just like everything else. Don't be a savage. Clean this before you put everything back together, because now you're getting down past the plastic bezel and you're getting the whole thing clean. I mean, it would be like taking a shower and putting on dirty underwear. And here we go. This is the finished product. The boy's in the car checking it out with me, and I want to do this in front of him because you know he wanted to do that. Now, that little GPS China antenna thing, I got it right there, and that's why I put it there. It disappears. Right there's my line of sight. Also, I put it there because it only has that much cord sticking out. And it's got like 2 miles down in there, but who cares? You can't see that. So that's a perfect place for that. I was going to put it up there, but then I would have had to reach all the way back through and drill a hole back there, and no, not happening.
You also realize that if you put it up there, there would be a satellite that would be connected to, and it will sell all your information once you connect your phone to the screen.
Yeah, it's already going to do it. This is the factory install.
Ignore all the scratches and stuff.
Well, yeah, this is the nicest looking part of the car. I mean...
Oh, yeah, the iPad is the coolest thing about this.
Hey, this is probably the only 2009 Honda that you'll ever see with a touchscreen.
1 million, zillion, jillion, dillion, cotillion times later.
I'm back after testing this thing out. I drove this car to and from work for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And this Apple Play is garbage. It's the cheapest thing I found. Who's surprised? Honestly, I'm a little surprised. I expected it to work, but I expected it to be kind of on the cheap side, kind of junk. This thing is junk. When I try and take a phone call through it, or try and do a voice to text through it, it can't hear me. It can't understand what I'm saying. This car is quiet. It does not have some big loud fart tip exhaust system on it. It still can't hear me. On top of that, as soon as I send a text, the whole thing shuts off and has to restart. Even if I send a text through the phone and not through the dashboard, it still crashes the Apple Play. So I did some looking into it. I belong to a couple of 8th gen Civic pages on Facebook. And once I got past all the guys saying, you know, you can't get the best stereo for $100. Yeah, I know. It turns out that these Bluetooths are generally decent, but have a high rate of junk out of the box. So for every 5 they sell that works, 1 of them doesn't. I'm pulling those numbers out of my tailpipe. I don't know if it's that bad, but you get the idea. X% comes out of the box bad. And lucky me, we got that one. So what I'm going to do today is put in another one, except instead of just asking for trouble again, I went ahead and got 2 or 3 steps up. I can't even remember what it was. This one was a few steps up. So I already know how to do this. We already went over it just a minute ago. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and I'll be back just like this. And we're back. This was a little more complicated to install. This one actually has a backup camera and a microphone. An external microphone. Of course it has a mic. But I got it all installed, I've got the microphone installed. I did not wire up the backup camera. It's getting late, and it's gonna be a little more complicated because I got to run some extra wires. But anyways, this thing's pretty cool. Here we go. Now, I won't connect to the phone right now because it'd probably mess up my audio. But this thing, it connects pretty much instantly. It just, everything works properly. I've got the microphone right up here. I decided that's a good place to put it. It's close to the driver's face, and it doesn't get hit by the visor. So that's a perfect place for it. Run the wire down along there, and then into the dash, across back, and then up into the plug. Well, it actually worked out pretty slick. And I've got this exact same unit for my car too. Not getting done today. Matter of fact, I'll probably experiment with hooking up the backup camera on mine. And then when I have it down and know exactly what I need to do, I'll come back to this one. You know, preserve the nice car. So far, pretty cool. I'm digging it. It's a lot better than the piece of crap that was in here. I'm saying this is a pretty cool purchase. And I do love that it looks factory, that it's built in. It's not just some extra screen sitting on suction cups on the windshield or propped up on the dashboard. And it's way better than just having a Bluetooth speaker sitting on the dash. I've been doing that in mine for a couple weeks now. Not fun. Once you start using these things, they become a necessity almost. Every time I go to put these things, either one of these, mine or this one, in reverse, first thing I do is look for the screen. And mine doesn't even have a screen. Plus, I love using the map on it, even when I know where I'm going, because it will show me if traffic's backed up and I need to take a different route. And it'll always give me an ETA on when I'm getting home or to work or whatever. So that's another one that becomes almost a necessity. And looking at it on your little itty bitty phone while you're trying to drive, it's not very cool. So that's it for this one. Really cool piece. I recommend it. If they've got built-in versions for your car, look into it. Don't get the cheapest one. It's worth the time. It's worth the money. All right, guys. Take it easy. Oh, yeah. And I didn't forget.